Now, I don't often do strumming at school, but it is actually a nice thing to do. And to be honest, when I first started teaching a long while ago, practically everything I did was strumming, and I sort of kind of moved to playing single notes and tunes with children as the years went by. But strumming is it's an important part of your guitar technique, so you really ought to try and do this. I'll try and give you a few options on this. There are only 4 chords in this song, and they are G, D7, C and E7. Now if you can't manage the full G, then just play a simplified G, which is 3rd fret of the E string, strum only 4 strings. If you can't manage the full C chord, just put your first finger behind the 1st fret of the B and only play 3 strings. You should be able to do D7, in any case there isn't really an easier version of it, and you should be able to do E7. Let's just go through the diagrams of those chords. They're very tiny, aren't they? And they are what I call the old-fashioned type of chord boxes, where the guitar is shown upright. So the new software I'm using, which is called Sibelius, if you're interested, to print out the music is great, but the only problem is it does show the guitar neck upright when it prints out the chord boxes. So it's just go over this, and they're very tiny, these chord boxes. Basically, you've got the G chord, which in order of fingers is 1st finger behind the 2nd fret of the A string, 2nd finger behind the 3rd fret of the bass E string, the thickest E string, 3rd finger behind the 3rd fret of the thinnest E string, and that is a G chord, like that. I've shown you the easier one, but that's the proper one. Okay, so in that chord you'll see 3 little O's above 3 strings on that chord diagram to show that those strings are open. D7, we've got 2 strings that you mustn't play. You mustn't play the E or the A string. Basically this chord is 1st finger behind the 1st fret of the B, 2nd finger behind the 2nd fret of the G, 3rd finger behind the 2nd fret of the thinnest E string, and the D string is open. The C chord is 1st finger behind the 1st fret of the B string, so the same place as it is for D7, 2nd finger behind the 2nd fret of the D string, 3rd finger behind the 3rd fret of the A strings. It's quite a stretchy chord, and you can only strum 5 strings. You really shouldn't strum the bass E string on that one, and the G and the thin E are open in that chord. And E7, not a difficult chord, but people get confused with this one. Be careful with this one. It's 1st finger behind the 1st fret of the 3rd string of the G string, not the B strings. It's a different place to the C chord and the D7 chord. 1st finger behind the 1st fret of the G, 2nd finger behind the 2nd fret of the A string, and in that chord the E string, the B string, the D string and the other E string are shown as open, and that's a 6-string chord. So the G chord, if you do it properly, is a 6-string chord. The D7 is only a 4-string chord. The C chord is a 5-string chord, and the E7, as I say, it's a 6-string chord. So those are the chords: G, D7, C and E7. And you say to me, well, okay, why do I want to know these chords? Well, you might want to strum along while somebody either sings or plays that tune, in which case you do something like this. Now the strum I've written in a box to the right of the title, and it says strum equals down, down, up, down, up, down. Now down is obviously pushing the strings down towards the floor, and that's however many strings you are allowed to play on the chord. When you do the upstroke, don't plough through all the strings that you're allowed to play. You probably only need to play the first 2 or 3. It's a very wristy, relaxed. That's my arm is leaning on the guitar, and it's the wrist that does all the work. Hold the plectrum between the thumb and the 2 fingers, like that, and just a very relaxed down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And you notice there isn't a chord on the 1st bar. I'll come back to that in a minute. So you wait for the first 2 notes, and you come in G, D7, and the chord's written on top of the bars, of course. G, D7, G again, G again, G again, G again, D7, D7 again, G, D7, G, D7, G again, and again G, G again, G again, 2 bars of D7, and back to G for 2 bars. Down the middle bit, the B bit, D7, D7, G, G, here's C for the first time, and again C, tricky bit here. Now that first section of 3 lines from the end, you've got G and E7 in the same bar. So you do the 2 downs on the G chord, rather the 2 downs and an up on the G chord, and the final down, up, down on the E7. So that's what we call a split rhythm. Down, down, up, down, all in one bar. And then you're quickly to the D7. So you, rather than practicing that strumming it, you might want to just practice doing single strums of G, E7, D7 to get used to that change. When I was a young lad and I was playing the guitar, I used to love songs that had loads of chord changes, and I would sit there, you know, furiously practicing my changes. And that's what you need to do if you want to get good at those chord changes. So G again, D7, G, 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 ending 1, D7, D7, and back to G. And when you go to repeat, when you go from the top, you need to play a G chord over that first bar. There's no chord written on top, but you need to just carry on with the G chords so you get the nice continuous strum. Now, when you get to ending 2, it goes like this. And that's a really good bit of practicing, isn't it? G to C, G to C, G to C, G, D7, G. I'm talking about the last 4 bars of the tune. And again, you've got this split strum, down, down, up on the G, down, up, down on the C. 3 times. And then on the end, G, D7, G, really quick change. The first 3 beats of the bar, 1, 2, 3, and go down, down, down. So that's a cracking little exercise for strumming as well. So it's a brilliant tune to learn this, isn't it? There is a little bit of help when you're changing from G to D7. The 3rd finger can stay, if you look, on the same string. It's behind the 3rd fret of the E string for the G chord and behind the 2nd fret of the E string for the D7 chord. So you can actually just slide it up and down. Okay, G to D7 like that. G to C, you haven't got any real help. C to E7, well, first 2 fingers are in sort of roughly the right shape, but they're not on the right strings. So, you know, always look out for help when you're changing from one chord to the other. Don't needlessly take fingers off. But you do have to be very, very careful. So finally, let's just play that rhythm part along with my recording, which is quite quick, of course, and then that will complete this lesson on Wooden Harp. 1, 2, 3. Start again, keep playing the G chord, D7, song. B section coming up, middle 8. So there we are, lots to learn in that tune. I really hope you enjoy it.